Hey, this is Mike, Cobble Pond Pros. Really excited today. I'm actually going to be visiting one of our sites. It's actually out in Brighton. It's going to be Bedrock Landscape Supply, and I'm going to be kind of talking about rock selection. And so we're just about there, so stay tuned, and we'll talk all things rocks. So we're going to dive into gravel. We're going to dive into boulders and what makes a great boulder and what makes a great even gravel. And so it's very, very important in our features, and we're going to dive right into it. So we'll see you soon. Hey, this is Mike. I finally made it to out here at Bedrock Landscape Supply. And so what I wanted to talk to you about is a little bit about gravel. When we start talking about gravel, you know, what size, what type is useful to ponds. And so I wanted to kind of dive into that a little bit. To my left here, we've got 1.5 inches. And so this 1.5 inch gravel does very well. It's actually very, very local stuff to Colorado, so we can certainly utilize this stuff. The thing that we want to promote in ponds is that we don't want gravel that's basically going to be traveling. So when fish want to actually pick it up and spit it in the skimmer box, which we find every once in a while, that's like pea gravel size. Now the 1.5 inch is a little bit bigger to where fish, that's not a problem. But the general size that I like to play with is this 3/4 inch. So we got some 3/4 minus, actually. This is like a 3/4 minus, so it's mixed in with some 3/4 inch, and then we've got some even pea gravel size, little bits here and there. But this actually provides more surface area for bacteria colonization. And so the smaller the rock, the better it is for colonizing a good environment for aquatic life and beneficial bacteria. So, you know, the river rock is definitely something that we prefer using. Not only within the pond, but also up in the stream and the waterfall areas. So, and then we're going to walk around this other side, and we can talk about some other rock that I have over here. So over in here, we've actually got like a 6 to 8 inch size cobble. Now cobble is great for certain waterways. We could definitely use the aesthetics of the cobble because it is naturally found in streams and waterways. So we do incorporate this every once in a while within a pond or even a stream. And over in here we've got basically our 2 to 4 inch size cobble. That's actually great for tightening up small spaces within larger stones. So when we go into creation mode of basically we've got a big boulder here and here, and we want to kind of tighten the gap, this rock is actually does very well with tightening that gap and that space so we can hide that liner. So the last pile that we were just at, it was very white, a very white rock. This is actually pretty dirty, but it actually has a lot of color into it. And so we do want to have the idea of incorporating more color into our ponds and water features just to give it more pizzazz, right? So we want a difference in color. So definitely, you know, if you've got this kind of cobble, it's definitely the way to go when we start talking about jazzing it up with a water feature. All right, so our next stone is basically this round river rock. This is actually not native to the area, but this actually, when it's wet, does shine very, very well. So it kind of brightens up, and when it's wet, it does create a more natural shine to it. So I am a fan of these. So in one of our features here, we're going to be utilizing some of these rocks for sure. So we're going to jump to boulders. We've got some really great glacier boulders in here, so I love these boulders to play with. They have these round sides, which is really going to benefit our liner. So that's always a great insurance policy for the liner. But Using these kind of boulders is definitely a plus. I love using the glacier boulders for sure. So in here we actually have our granite boulders, and so we've got some white granite, we've got some red granite, and so these guys are great choice to play with. So definitely I prefer to jazz it up a little bit if you prefer different looks. When it comes to like white and reds, it's a different look, and we're going to go take a look at some of the other ones here. So we've got our Colorado buff boulder. This one's actually native to the area, and so this is actually commonly found not too far from here, which is Ord and mine, very close to this area. But we definitely want to utilize the Colorado buff boulder. This is definitely one of our favorites to play with. And as you can see, we've got varying sizes, anywhere between 3 to 6 inch, all the way up to several feet. So this is actually a really good pile to play with. So we're going to go take a look at some moss rock down the way here. All right, this is always a favorite of mine. This is actually pea gravel, and so this stuff is very useful when you're basically backfilling skimmer box, even a biofall, or even backfilling any other device. It's always a preferred method. It allows it to drain basically water away from our skimmers, things that tend to move in with the skimmers that tend to basically move with compacted soil. So when we deal with clay type soil, it actually starts to move and tweak the skimmer. So we always prefer to use this stuff on the outside for compaction, but also even on the inside of the pond. The smaller the gravel size, the more surface area it actually contains versus something large. So if I had something 3 to 6 inches of rock versus even just a handful of this is actually providing more surface area for bacteria colonization than a bigger rock. So we definitely prefer to put in gravel that way. So I'm here at the Onyx boulders. These are actually not native to the area, so they are shipped in. But these are beautiful rocks, lots and lots of character. I love the idea that if we can tweak, waterfalls going in between crevices and alongside of things, if we were to create this as a pinch rock and water coming down the side, something like that, this is actually one of our rocks of choice, just because of the amount of character it has. These onyx are actually the brown onyx, and then behind me I've got some gray onyx, and so that's always a preferred method as well. So when we start building with large boulders like this, we do want to have a feature that is proportionate in size. So the bigger the rock, the bigger the feature. Smaller the feature, the smaller the rock. So when we start getting into not only smaller sizes of these boulders, but even these guys right here, we'll definitely want to tie this in with a smaller feature. And then also we can tighten in the gaps of in between the larger boulders as well, and a large feature as well. So love using these boulders. If you can see the kind of character that these things have, I absolutely love these. These are awesome. So we finally made it to moss rock, and so this is definitely one of my preferred rocks of choice. Obviously it's local here to Colorado, and so we deal with a lot of moss rock, a lot of beautiful features in here to where, if I had some water coming off of this is a nice straight edge, and this would actually be very nice in a water feature setting. So I love working with moss rock. That's always a preferred method of choice. We've got some smaller boulders here as well, and so we'll use these that are already palletized. These are great because I can basically lift this up with a dingo and get it into the backyard. And so I love using the palletized moss rock as well. So if you enjoyed this, please like, comment, subscribe. We would love that very much. And I want to thank you for watching this, and we will talk to you on the next one.